Good morning. We're here with writer Michael Winstead, the author of the legal thriller Ultimate Verdict. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Ultimate Verdict is an interesting read. Can you tell us about the book?
Well, on the surface, it's a book about vigilante justice. Judge Raleigh Westlake is a federal judge, and he has decided to take the law into his own hands and bring criminals to trial in secret. Underneath, for those who want to look for plot lines that are a little bit more buried, there's a lot of ethical dilemma, interpersonal relationships, and moral dilemmas that the vigilantes must confront as they met out justice.
What inspired you to write this story?
I've been a trial lawyer for more than 30 years, and I have seen lots of cases tried by other lawyers. I've tried lots of cases myself. And it occurs to me that we've gotten to a point where justice takes way too long, it's way too expensive, and it's often imprecise. There are endless delays, lawyer shenanigans, and lots of appeals. And as I was sitting in a courtroom one day listening to arguments in other cases, hearings that really didn't seem to be moving a case forward very much, I thought, what would it take for a judge to just dispense with the whole system and try people in secret? What kind of a catalyst would you have to make a judge cross that line? And in thinking about it, I came up with a particularly heinous crime in which an innocent victim by the name of Hannah Sullivan is murdered in a senseless way by a man named Henry Lauder.
And in fact, we're sitting not far from the spot where the fictional Hannah Sullivan was murdered.
That's right. We are at the base of Mount Pisgah, just off the Blue Ridge Parkway near Asheville, North Carolina, and the opening scene of the book occurs right here, about 50 yards from where we're sitting and where Hannah Sullivan is murdered.
But that's not the only murder that's happened here.
Unfortunately, in a very tragic incident, not long after my book was published, a young woman was murdered across the parkway while she was hiking. That case has not yet come to trial, but from the news reports that I've read about the case, it proves that sometimes truth is stranger than fiction.
Where did you come up with the idea for the secret trials and the mobile courtroom?
Well, Judge Westlake is a federal judge in his real life, and he has scruples. He abides by the Constitution, he abides by the rule of law, and he doesn't want to stray too far from that as he tries to make the system better by taking these heinous criminals and trying them in secret. So he builds a replica of his federal courtroom inside of a tractor trailer rig so that it's mobile, but it also has a lot of the trappings of a real federal courtroom. It has a judge's bench, it has an American flag, it has counsel tables for the lawyers, and it also has a gavel.
And what about the criminals he prosecutes?
Well, each of the criminals that are selected because they've committed particularly heinous crimes and they've gotten away with it, ripped from the headlines, if you will. And the first three trials of these criminals, the sentences are carried out in a way that makes it look as if the defendant committed suicide or that they died by accident.
Tell us about the congressman who was prosecuted by the group.
After the first three trials, the judge learns about a United States congressman who has committed a massive Ponzi scheme, bilking thousands of people out of millions of dollars, but he's gotten away with it. The Justice Department is not going to prosecute him because he's powerful, he's connected, he has covered himself well with lawyers and accountants. And the judge sees this as sort of a new prototype of criminal, one who thinks about his crimes, one who weighs the potential for getting captured, and this crime almost becomes a business plan. So the judge decides that maybe he can deter criminals like this if he puts this person on trial, and instead of the sentence being carried out in secret, if the sentence itself is made very public. And I don't want to spoil how that particular case ends, but a lot of my readers have told me that the end sends chills up their spines.
Ultimate Verdict has a cliffhanger, shocking ending. Is there another book in the works?
Well, the sequel to Ultimate Verdict has already been published. It's called Ultimate Deception. It again follows the travails of the cabal as they target and prosecute criminals who have escaped the justice system. one of the members of the cabal, and I won't say who, has a secret agenda. And that secret agenda ultimately takes all of them directly into the path of a Russian terrorist.
Well, Mr. Winstead, we want to thank you for coming today to tell us about Ultimate Verdict. It's a fantastic read. I've read it myself. Thank you for giving us some of your time.
Well, and thanks to all of you who have read the book. I really appreciate it.